The night of the Last Supper, Jesus was with his disciples in the upper room, and he was talking to his disciples about how things were going to be, what things were going to happen, what he was calling them to do, how this kingdom was going to work out. They had no idea really what was to come. But the thing that he talked to them about was love. He talked to them about loving each other. He said, this is how the world are going to know that you're my disciples. This is how people are going to understand that I am the God that you follow, that I am the one that you follow. It's the way that you love one another. That's the thing that's going to set you apart. That's the thing that's going to distinguish you, the way you love one another. And that same evening, he's also talking to them. He says, look, the way that God, the Father, has loved me, that's the way that I loved you, and that's the way that I'm calling you to love one another. And he says in this passage, and it's in John chapter 15, and he says, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. So remain in my love. If you keep my commands, then you will remain in my love, just as I kept my Father's commands and remain in the love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. Jesus said this the night before he was about to lay down his life for his disciples and for us. And he says, look, no one has greater love than this. But he says something more. The idea, he says, look, this is how you love one another. And the way you love one another is the thing that sets you apart. But it's also, as you love one another, the joy that is in Jesus will become also in us. And our joy will become complete. This idea, Jesus is the incarnation of the invitation to love, the incarnation of love itself. We are told in 1 John that God is love, and we are told throughout the Gospels that Jesus is the incarnation, the revelation of what God is like. And Jesus reveals God to be a God of love, a God who sacrifices, who lays down his life for us so that we can have life, who calls us to love one another so that we can live joy to the full. This week, as we contemplate Holy Week, as we contemplate Good Friday, as we contemplate that space in between the dying of dreams and hopes and ambitions, the Son of Man, the God incarnate, the revelation of who God is and what God is like, coming into this earth, the beginning and end of all existence, the essence, the creator and the narrator of everything that is in existence, chose to become like us, chose to submit himself to love, submit himself to death on the cross, so that he could demonstrate his love for us, so that we could be invited into this same story of love. As disciples of Jesus, as people who don't just believe this, but actually are transformed and renewed by this, who are the people that we can love better this week? How can we demonstrate God's love better this week? Who are the people that we can sacrifice for, that we can lay ourselves down for? Who are the people? What are the ways that we can love better this week? What does it mean that the God of love invites us into that same rhythm, that same truth of love? And what does it mean to see our joy complete as we live that out in him? God bless you as we sit in the space of Holy Week, in the pain and the agony and the joy and the wonder and the mystery of this week. God bless.